All right, we got another fun one today. We're moving back into the control side of things with blue-black Oracle turns. This is a pretty interesting one, and it is revolving around the existing pairs of Orcish Bowmasters, Shieldred, and the One Ring. We already know this to be a pretty strong combo, but now we get to support it with some equally broken cards. Of course, we have Demonic Tutor to find these pieces if we need to. We also have Memory Lapse, Counterspell, plus Swan Song, which is a card that has just been kind of sitting around unused for a while. Swan Song is really interesting because if you happen to be on the draw against a channel deck, they're going to play a land turn 1 and then turn 2 play a land and channel kill you. Swan Song, if you draw it in your opener, can be held up against that kind of thing, and you can clip a channel deck's wings out from under it. That is kind of important to do with this deck because if they resolve their channel and get something big out, you don't really have a way of dealing with it, so you have to be proactive. We also have Brainstorm in this deck. Brainstorm's just like a really strong card. We get to draw. It has also synergy with Shieldred. The One Ring draws a bunch, so it triggers Shieldred, but you can potentially get 6 life off of a Brainstorm if your Shieldred sticks around, so that's something to think about as well. And then there's Dark Ritual, so on turn 2, you could have 4 black mana for One Ring and Shieldred. That's going to be a very powerful thing to do. We mentioned Bowmasters already, and we have some Planeswalkers here in the deck. We have Kaido Shizuki, who is a pretty strong one. He protects himself when he comes down, so even if your opponent has something on the battlefield, you have time to deploy your board. If you have a creature already, he's strong because you can use his +1 to start gaining card advantage. And if you don't have a creature and you're worried about him getting attacked or worried about being able to trigger his +1, then you can use his -2 before he phases out to make a creature for yourself. So, good card. He's pretty nice. And then the -7 obviously would be pretty sweet, but we're probably not going to use that very much. Our hits are really only Orcish Bowmasters and Shieldred, so it's not really useful if we have that. Moving on, we also have Ashiok. Ashiok's just a generally good finisher in blue-black control. He's able to, or they are able to create a 2/3 nightmare creature that is going to exile your opponent's library eventually. And if you get to the -7, they are able to help you cast those spells from exile. More or less, that's the deck. We are running 18 lands, so don't expect to be drawing a lot of lands off the top when you need it. Fortunately for us, we are pretty low on the mana curve, so we can deal with not getting lands here and there. With that being said, that's the deck. The other thing that we can do to finish games out is an Oracle the Alpha kill, where we play one of these things and use our One Ring in order to draw into the Time Twister in order to kill our opponent with Shieldred and Bowmaster, or just take infinite turns eventually with a combination of Time Twisters, Demonic Tutors to find them again, and reshuffling of our library through the Oracle's Time Twister. A lot of cool things happening in this deck. Hopefully it should be pretty strong and match up well against the format, but we will see. Real quick, if you want to support the channel before we hop into the games, you can do so by dropping a like on the video or by commenting as well. Those help with the algorithm. And of course, if you're new here, you can show your support by subscribing to the channel. All that helps a bunch. Let's hop into some games. All right, round 2, let's go. This is round 1, not round 2. Opponent goes first, which means that they could potentially be on some sort of channel strategy, which means I want a mulligan for a Swan Song. Brainstorm's also not bad. I'd be able to get a Shieldred out on turn 2. So let's see, on turn 2 I would have 2 lands, +2 mana, +2 mana, so I'd have 6 mana. That'd be enough for Shieldred, Brainstorm. The problem is still if they're on a channel deck. Can't really deal too much against that. The One Ring helps me stay alive. I guess I don't need Dark Ritual. Well, I'd need the second Dark Ritual if I want both of these 4 mana spells. I think I go to 5. We find Swan Song. I'm going to keep this one. We have Bowmasters and a Tutor if we need it. Alright, so they're just on black. Darn. They Inquisition away one of my cards, probably the Tutor. They might take Swan Song, who knows. They take Tutor, that kind of makes sense. We will Shock a Watery Grave to play around a spell that can be countered, and if not, we have Brainstorm. Skyclave Shade. Cool. Let's brainstorm. Put Ashiok back and put a Watery Grave back. I think that's probably the move. I mean, Ritual... I can't cast Ashiok next turn. It's going to take me 2 turns, so this is fine. Let's put Watery Grave on top. Go to our turn. So now we get to hold up Bowmasters, and then next turn we can Ashiok. It'd be even better if our opponent decides to fight over the Bowmasters here. Or if they decide to do something that we're happy to counter. Well, unfortunately we can't deal with Swan Song here. They get it with power, right? So that's going to be 2 big Obnixiluses. Okay. Am I interested in discarding a card here? I'll get rid of Swan Song. I think that's not going to be very good to have. We will decline. And I will Bowmasters here. Let's take out the non-copy, or start ticking it down rather, and then we will Ashiok. Make 3 mana. Gonna Ashiok, send back the copy, and then they have to exile a card from their hand. We also get to hit the existing Ashiok for 2. Alright, so I think we came out on top there. Skyclave Shade comes back to hand. I'm not super psyched about that. Oh man, they just have Shieldred? Yeesh. Okay, well, I didn't really consider that being an option. We will at least make a thing that can block. And we'll just chill here. Alright, so what are my outs here? I can Ashiok to get rid of one of these things. They might just end up playing the Shieldred again, though, is the problem. If I draw a Brainstorm, then I definitely just use Shieldred. Or I'm happy to lose 2 Shieldred. Okay, so Shieldred goes in, we just chump block this one. At least we got that going for us. And man, drawing lands here is tough. So I can get another Ashiok in. This just does block Shieldred infinitely. Make a specifically blue land. And that Skyclave Shade, that thing's so annoying. I'm gonna have to double block the Skyclave Shade and then chump Shieldred. We go to 4, and I think we're just gonna get blown out here over time. I was feeling pretty good about things up until our board got answered and then the Shieldred came down. So I think we go like this. And we need to draw a good card here. I think we got one of the Shades out. No, we got a City Stalker out. I'm not familiar with this card. Interesting. They get a Skyclave Shade out again. That thing just keeps coming back. Kaito Shizuki. That thing can block. I'm dead next turn, aren't I? So it's lose 2 life unless you discard a card. This can get rid of Shieldred, but then I die to combat damage. Darn. Looks like we just didn't have it there. Let's take a look at our top card and see what we would have gotten. Did we have anything coming up that would have been useful? No, that Shieldred could have been nice. Well, we'll let our opponent hit us here. We have no way of surviving here. Obnixilus will get us. Alright, tough game. I think our opponent turned the corner quicker than we were ready for. I think it was just basically after we went all in on this Ashiok that they kind of were able to dig out of it. Oh well, that was a good round 1. Let's hop into round 2. Here we go. Alright, round 2, let's go. Well, a 1-lander's kind of tough. I can't keep. Not with all those blue cards in hand. This is a lot better. I think we take the Brainstorm. We can get rid of a land, then we have Memory Lapse into Bowmasters while we wait for our Brainstorm lock to end. So I will shock Watery Grave, I guess. See what color our opponent shows us before we Brainstorm. Green. This still could be Channel. It also might not be. I would want a Swan Song here. I do find one. That's great. Let's put the Tutor and Grave on top. Let's draw the Tutor first, though it doesn't really matter. I'll draw the land first. Why not? Alright, let's shock here. Hold up Bowmasters. Hold up our counter spells. So this is a situation where we are fine against the Channel deck. We just gotta get them before they can get us. Just a Gilded Goose, fine. What happens now? Do I get my Bowmasters? Looks like I do. Alright, so we're dealing 1 damage a turn now. That's great. I can Watery Grave, hold up Swan Song. So that means I get a Demonic Tutor out. What would I like to get here? I could get a Ritual, I could get a Shieldred, but none of those seem very good right now. So I'll just see what I hit off of Brainstorm at my end step, and then Demonic Tutor next turn. So Delighted Halfling, they're ramping up to something. They can do that. They might have just taken a 1-lander. Maybe that's what happened here. Well, we get to look pretty deep into our library here with these 2 Brainstorms, so I'm hoping that this will end up being worth it. I want to have a land to play next turn, so I'll put this on top and maybe the Memory Lapse here, since they haven't really shown me anything worth countering. Alright, go to our turn. Pick up our Memory Lapse. We will Dark Ritual, play a 1-ring. Draw our Demonic Tutor. Now we cannot attack with the Delighted Halfling in the way, so we just chill for a sec. Eventually we'll get there. They could have Spell Pierce here. We're happy to pay for Spell Pierce. They bolt my Bowmasters. What could they be doing that would warrant doing this? Because I can counter it. But I'd be giving them a bird, and that kind of feels bad. Yeah, maybe we say no to this. I'm trying to give them a bird here. We can tutor out something to do. And we're about to have the 1-ring. I just want to kind of stay here with the Bowmasters that can deal with their board. 2 a turn is annoying, but maybe not the worst thing that could happen to us. So my next turn can be Demonic Tutor for Shieldred, then Memory Lapse on their turn. Boop. Alright, so they have attacked unnecessarily, which means I get in for 2. Wow, we just naturally draw Shieldred. What else would I want? I could have another counterspell down the line if I wanted to. They have a lot of cards in hand. This is at least Teamer. I'm going to play Shieldred. Demonic Tutor can get another Shieldred if we want. We'll search for a land here. We find a land. The land does not come in untapped, unfortunately. So now Shieldred is a bad block for their Delighted Halfling, so they only get in for 2 a turn. Now our opponent is stuck on life, and we are in the driver's seat with both a Bowmasters and Shieldred to punish them if they dig for an answer. Okay, Oko's gonna Oko our Shieldred. That sucks. Would have loved to memory lapse that, but unfortunately it's not going to happen.
Surely you see the humor.
Bobble, sure. We do have ways to deal with an Oko. So we'll have 3 mana over after my Demonic Tutor finishes. Unfortunately, our Shieldred Elk is still legendary, which sucks. They get to look at the top of our library, so they'll know what we draw. We get to deal a damage to Oko. That feels good. And now we get to deal... We either get to kill Oko or... So we can trade for Oko with Bowmasters, potentially. I think we want to just keep Bowmasters around. Okay, so Demonic Tutor could find Bowmasters, too, if we don't get it off of the ring. Ooh, yes. We don't need to do this yet, but it's good to know that we have it. So a tricky thing that we could do is Demonic Tutor for Bowmasters, and then Bowmasters kills Oko. It makes sure that our attack of Orc Army plus Shieldred kills Oko. Let's do this. Find a Bowmasters. And eventually we do want to find a one of our birds. Okay, so we will move into combat, swing in. I guess they probably just trump block Shieldred. Yep, they trump Shieldred. We go in with Bowmasters. Bowmasters targets Oko and then grows our army. Okay. So we hold up Memory Lapse now. We can deal with an Oko. It looks like this is going to be some sort of control deck. We'd be happy to stop an Oko or Uro. Both of the 3-letter O names are going to be a problem for us. Alright, wow, and we set up enough for our opponent to just say they were out of there. The draw of blue-green was going to have a lot of issues against 2 Bowmasters and a third Shieldred, or a second Shieldred coming down. Alright, I think that was a pretty good game there. We navigated things correctly and came out on top. Let's hop into round 3. Let's go. Alright, round 3. We have a Swan Song. We do get to go first, and we have maybe turn 2 Dark Ritual into the One Ring. Keep it. So if they show channel, we hold up Swan Song. If they don't, we try to do a Dark Ritual thing. Well, I guess we don't have to shock this. Ooh. Well, okay, we have to hold up for, the channel. Shieldred coming down turn 2 would be strong, though. So basically we hold up counterspells for channel until we see that they're not channel. Let's go ahead and Swan Song. We do our turn. Let's bank on them not having a second one of those. Here's Shieldred. Wow, that was enough. That's what happens when you clip a channel out from under the opponent. Sweet. That's really all it takes sometimes. We would have been even covered if our opponent was on the play, so feels pretty good there. Good deck building and a good hand choosing. I don't really know what to call that. But anyway, we came out on top. That was a round 3. Let's hop into round 4. Alright, round 4. Let's go. How do we feel about this one? This one's pretty slow, and our opponent goes first, so we really got to mulligan down for a Swan Song. I know that we can't have it all the time, but we can hope. They keep 7. Yeah, I'm going to mulligan this one. We find Swan Song. We keep, and we get to choose between Shieldred and the One Ring, and I think we probably just want the One Ring, honestly. We need to protect ourselves. Ooh, okay, so it's not what I thought it was. We will play towards a eventual Swan Song anyway. Having this Brainstorm's also good. They might have Bowmasters. Let's see if they have a Orcish Bowmasters. They do not. Put this back, put this back. We'll draw the One Ring. Okay. Could have done that differently. Whatever. We will not be saving that 1 life. Am I Dark Ritualing into the One Ring here? I have no idea what my opponent's doing, but I feel like that's probably a good play. If this resolves, then I have an interesting next play to make. They must have Bowmasters, right? No, they have gold. Okay. We have protection, and we will just draw a card now. I guess it would be correct to draw up my opponent's end step, because if they have Thoughtseize or something, it can take this. Is that Demonic Tutor for a land, possibly? We get to go to our turn. Wow, Shieldred's here. I think I want to Oracle and then just start drawing into the power 9, if possible. So we will do this now in case we hit a Moxen. Okay, well we have a Time Lock, so that's just as good. They have a One Ring as well. So maybe we just jam a Shieldred, stick them out in the cold. Okay, so let's play this. Let's attack just for the scry. Scry that away. Then we can Shieldred, punish them for drawing. And we'll draw ourselves before they can deal with the Shieldred. We have Black Lotus here. Black Lotus means Time Lock. Plus an Ancestral Recall for us. Yeah, that's pretty nice. We'll get a Mox Jet as well out of all of this. And yeah, we'll end turn there. We get to move to combat here, hit for 6. That is Bowmasters off the top. I mean, we already have a Shieldred pressuring their One Ring. I think I go for the greed and try to find another Oracle of the Alpha. Short. Oh, I forgot that they had that. Let's brainstorm. We find Shieldred again. We'll put Shieldred and Bowmasters back. We want to draw Bowmasters first. Alright, more life to gain. Let's draw all these. Swan Song is fine to have. Let's play a pathway on blue and figure out what we want to do now. Bowmasters can just come out and chill. Then I have 1 counter spell held up. Opponent doesn't play any blue, so I don't have to worry about counter magic. We'll just have to ping our Shieldred. And now we have a pretty strong turn set up. We have to discard 3, so I'll get rid of 1 Shieldred. And then a Memory Lapse. Swan Song. Yeah, we are definitely good on the counter magic right now. Opponent starts to take damage off their One Ring. Let's see what happens. Can they kill my Shieldred? We're sitting at 40 life, so we're feeling pretty good about ourselves here. We counterspell a Shieldred. I think almost anything else is fine to let happen because we have attacks to go through. So we were really just after more time walks and the ancestral, not the ancestral recall. We want the time twister here. Okay, opponent says that we have it. That works for me. Quick workaround for right there. We pretty much just got the combo. The nastiest thing there was just drawing the Black Lotus into Ancestral Recall. That was just amazing. Ancestral plus Time Walk, actually. That's right. Yeah, Black Lotus into Time Walk plus Ancestral. That was so good. Really fun deck here when it works. Let's hop into round 5 and try for one more big turn. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Final round, and we have a potential early one ring here. Going first, this is fine. The only potential issue is if our opponent's on channel and we can't find a counterspell out of Brainstorm. If we go first, I think I'm happy to keep this hand. So we start with the Dark Slick Shores, waiting out a Brainstorm. Dark Ritual. Fine. What happens from here? They can't play a Shieldred. They might have done their math wrong. They're thinking for a while here. I imagine this is for Demonic Tutor or something, right? Maybe they didn't mean to do that. You always gotta count that mana. Oh, never mind. They know what they're doing. Okay, so Bloated Processor. Sure. Let's play Brainstorm. We find another Brainstorm. Let's draw our one ring next turn and then leave Oracle the Alpha second from the top. Okay, so what land do I want to play here? I can turbo out my one ring, which feels like a pretty good thing to do. Bloated Processor seems like it's going to be a pretty annoying card to deal with. And it's whenever another Phyrexian dies. Okay, so if they play a Phyrexian, that's going to be a problem. Eventually, Orcish Bowmasters will be a good thing to deal with that. I am thinking that I will probably just go ahead and get a one ring down. Dark Ritual, one ring. We have Oracle next turn, and we can start going for a power 9, so... Okay, we take 3 here. That's going to be pretty annoying once we're actually taking damage. I think we just go for Oracle the Alpha now. It's a good blocker. It matches up against this Processor, and now we have some good things to draw. Ooh, Mox Sapphire is huge. That means we have Brainstorm. Alright, so we're happy to block here, I think. Actually, you know what? I could go down to 16. Then I'm getting my Alpha Scries. Yeah, I think we want that. Okay, so let's Brainstorm here. Yeah, this is good because we can scry something away with Oracle the Alpha now, which I don't really know what that'll be. Possibly the River is the thing that I want to get rid of. Let's draw Bowmasters, return, shuffle away, or scry away the River. This is right. Alright, go to our turn. Alright, so let's play an Emerald. Let's move to combat. Scry away what we put on the top. And opponent takes some damage. Now we'll go ahead and draw with the one ring and try to do something nasty. So, Demonic Tutor can find... I could either find Shieldred or I could just go for a Time Walk now. I'm going to try for a Time Walk, I think. Alright, so Time Walk is right there. Let's cast Time Walk. And then we have a Brainstorm as well to start taking a look. Oh, I should have played Bowmasters, actually. Whoops. Let's get rid of the one ring. I want to scry that away. And then a Bowmasters can be drawn again. Alright, like that. Move to our turn, take some damage. Eventually we do need to find a Shieldred. That is the one issue here. I don't want my one ring. I can block pretty much every which way. Draw in here. Alright, so we have Demonic Tutor, cast Shieldred off of Dark Ritual. That feels good. And I could even just do that next turn. How do I feel about that? Let's pay life here. I can cast Kaito Shizuki and draw, gaining a little bit of life off of Shieldred. Did I do my math right? No, I didn't. 4 mana plus 1 extra. Okay, never mind. Wait. No, I'm casting Dark Ritual. What am I saying? Dark Ritual. Off of the Emerald, play Shieldred. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we have Kaito Shizuki. Auto pay. Go to 8. Draw with his plus. And there we go. The one thing that sucks is that now we don't have mana up for Swan Song. So as long as they don't do anything degenerate, we are going to be fine. We draw 5 with the one ring next turn after taking 4. So we're kind of boned if Shieldred gets dealt with, but other than that, I think we're fine. Oh yeah, Invasion, we don't care about that. They might attack and then incubate with their Bloated Processor. That I could not care less about. Our opponent's pretty much just on some Fair Magic accelerated with Dark Ritual, looks like. So I think we have gotten as far ahead as we need to. I'll pay 2 life off of this. We're going to draw with the one ring. Life doesn't matter to us anymore. And we do find Time Twister. That's great. So that's exactly lethal with Time Twister. Alright, so we don't even need to care about any of this. We will just draw out. Alright, nice. And that is a Shieldred kill. Let's go. Perfect. Alright, we were able to take round 5. I think that was a great way to end it. Got a little bit of power out with our Oracle of the Alpha, and then finished with a Shieldred Time Twister combo. Pretty much all you could want out of this deck. I think this was a fun time. This is a pretty strong deck. I would definitely recommend it if you're looking to, just play out some intense games here. Some of the more fun ones that we didn't necessarily get to see today are against your Delver opponents. Delver is, of course, a very low-to-the-ground playstyle that sometimes you have a hard time dealing with, but it makes the games fun, that's for sure. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you would like to support me and my goal of getting more subscribers, you can subscribe if you're new. And if you would like to support the channel and our positioning in the YouTube algorithm, you can do so by dropping a like on the video or by commenting something on the video. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.